Welcome back, everybody, to the Small Cap Recap. We're shooting this today in front of a live studio audience. Give us a round of applause, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. We go out of our way. We want to give you guys some recaps of some trades today. Bryce had a fantastic day. He'll go over his trades as well. We have a screen that we will go to in just a second. We'll talk about that. What are your just thoughts of the day? How'd you do?
I did well today. I ended up about $10,500.
No big deal.
Another 5-figure day.
Yeah, really good trading. I had some, not that I'm making excuses, but I had issues with my E-Trade today for whatever reason. My buying power was really messed up. So I could only use like 1/10 of my buying power.
Matt's actually just poor.
No. So I was very weird, but I ended up making like 3,100, which is like 15% of my buying power that I had. So let's go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll go over those trades here. Bryce had a couple good ones on listed, and then I'm actually swinging the stock. So, pretty bold here on Small Cap Recap. We'll talk about it and see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully it gaps up.
Overall, really quick, I'd say about the market today, there were some really weird random movers, but for the most part, it was very scalpy. I don't know. I mean, it was a really sit on your hands until something comes up kind of day.
I think that's...
And even after that, it was still pretty scalpy.
No, yeah, I agree. I was pretty excited this morning in Small Cap Rocket and stuff. I let everyone know there was a ton of gappers. Yep. There was a ton. MRIN, BLIN, to name a few, those were the biggest ones. But there's just a ton of gappers, and I thought people would be like really amped.
FOMOing.
Yeah, because a 3-day weekend over the holidays. But out of the gates was pretty slow.
Yeah, everything just kind of faded.
And then from there on out, there was like those scalpy plays, like you said. And then DPLS, pretty textbook OTC setup. We haven't talked about OTCs a lot because the OTC market's been a little slower, but DPLS is a good one, so we'll go over that.
Yeah.
Let's show the screen to everybody here, and let's break it down. So this is StocksToTrade platform. We'll let Bryce start it off. He's got 2 trades here. NEGG.
Yeah, so pretty wild daily chart. This basically just had shorts trapped from the first day of that run back at the end of May, and then it just consolidated. And I didn't even notice that it had been consolidating like that. But we had this big, massive run, right? From what was that?
$10.
$10 roughly to almost 20. And then we just consolidated. Yep. I personally actually didn't like this today for a breakout because it had broken out yesterday. But it ended up working really well. So I had a couple scalps on it in the morning in the midday that I made a couple $100 on. But the bigger trade ended up being in the afternoon, and I longed, alerted in small cap. I think my average was 20.98.
Oh, yeah, wow.
I was right. Entry. Right. Well, no, it was the candle that it started pushing up. I got in right there.
Okay.
I think 2,500 shares, and I sold 1,500 into that first spike up into like the high 21s.
Yep.
And then after that started consolidating again, I added back another 500 shares. And sold at 22.20, and then it went to that was brutal to watch.
What a run, though!
Oh, really wild run.
How do you deal with just like the lower volume? Because I know a lot of people scare them off. No, and even for me too. Like it's a little scary just to like trade some of these lower volume stocks.
Yeah, and so that's one thing I'll say that I've learned, especially kind of about the way I trade, is if you have the right entry, if your thesis is right, volume normally follows, and you see that with bid support starting in the lower volume territory. And so one of the big things for me is I'm comfortable taking sides if I see that bid support, even on lower volume, because I know I have bidders to get out into. A lot of times it's hidden buying too. And you can start seeing that in the tape as the level 2 progresses. So while there's low volume, I call it like a pretty active level 2 still. So I know that there are bidders there. I know that there's an ask. And as that ask starts getting chipped away, you'll almost always see those bidders follow. Now, unfortunately, the volume really picked up towards as it started to run. And I had a lot of FOMO, but at that point I was like, you know what? It's not worth the chase anymore. It's too late. It broke out. It'll be on watch for tomorrow, but it's getting pretty extended now. So I will definitely, if I do decide to take an entry, it'll probably be on some kind of dip. Or, I might watch it. I won't short it, but maybe paper short it because I'm not a short seller. But yeah, really great move. Those lower volume trades, like I said, watch for that bid support at key areas, and the volume should follow if your thesis is right.
Right. Really great breakout, and I agree. It's just tougher to trade as these get really extended. Really start getting, this one's up from 10 to hit 30 today, basically. Like it's just harder and harder to trade. There are trades there, but it's just difficult.
The risk reward. Remember the risk reward. That risk of a dump is part of the risk you have to factor in when you're taking the trade.
I had this thought just over the weekend. I know we trade together, but it took me forever to like get to this understanding. Like one of my first strategies was the OT swizzle, which we talk about all the time. You're on the StocksToTrade YouTube channel watching this already, so go look at some twist episodes, the older ones, especially one we had with Dom Maestro Mateo. We talked about the OT swizzle a lot. But that's basically what this is. We call it a lizzle. A listed swizzle. But that's the same thing. It just holds up basically midday. This one didn't per se have a morning spike, but the daily breakout chart was there. And then when it just holds up midday, it's like basically exactly like those OTC charts.
And think about it. When there's low volume and it's holding up, there's a reason it's not falling down. Someone is holding it up, or shorts are continually covering into little dips. There's a reason for it holding up.
Right. And this NEGG chart is a really good example of a top at like basically 21. You had some pretty clear resistance. It even got tighter here in like the 2050s. Risking 50 cents a share. I mean, this ran top to bottom. You're not going to nail it all, but basically $10.
Hopefully you can nail it more than me for $2.
Right. I mean, that's 20 to 1 risk reward on this trade. You're not going to perfectly nail it, but like 10 to 1 risk reward opportunity was there. Like you could absolutely. So, I mean, I totally missed this one. I don't know what I was doing, but this was the biggest miss.
That was getting a manicure.
No, I wasn't. Sykes likes to say that, but I definitely was not. But that was a great trade. Textbook, save that chart. Let's go on the next one. Bryce also traded MOXC. I traded a little bit. This is Bryce's baby. I made fun of him today a little bit because last month, if you were in small cap, he traded VTNR like every single day.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're like, 3 days in July? But basically, MOXC is his VTNR this month. He has moved on from his past relationship with VTNR onto MOXC. So let's pull up the chart here. I'll just pull up like a 10-day.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Well, so obviously we have this, clear breakout at like 26, high 26 area.
Yep.
And we just had some consolidation for the past 2 days, and I was watching for it to start breaking that consolidation. Okay. Yeah, let's get into today. Actually, let's get into a 1 minute chart if we can, because that's where you're really going to see that, or even.
I got you.
Yeah, perfect. It basically just did a dip and rip. Now, I generally like the dip and rip after a gap, right? After a strong gap up. That's, in my opinion, when those dip and rips work best. But pretty clear and defined bottom there, some support to risk off of it, the worst case scenario. So I actually started building in right off of that reversal, down at the bottom, like 22, what is that, 22, or 2340s, 2350s. Added up, I think my average was 2270. And I had 3,000 shares, 3,500 maybe, and just started selling into each spike, adding a little bit more as it consolidated, but locked in about 5,700 on it today. So yeah, it was a really nice trade.
Yeah, no, I took a little bit of as well. Much smaller size, I think at 500, 600, 700 shares tops. But yeah, Bryce alerted this one to me, and it's there's like a theme, like you have to learn the personality of a stock, just like you're dating them. Like if you can learn the personality of it, how it trades, it does the same stuff over and over again. So even though I make fun of them for trading it, like there's a really good strategy to it too, because we also know traders, both of us personally, like that might just trade Tesla every day.
Yep.
And like to me, that's super weird. But if you learn how it trades, you learn the players involved, like there's strategies there, and you only have to trade one stock if you get really good at it.
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah, those are my two biggest trades of the. Well, the other one is a little weird. But those are my two big trades of the day.
All right, we got DPLS here. This is OTC. It originally was on my radar back from this run in January, February. Basically, every OTC just went insane. But it's been consolidating for this 2 cent area, and it's just gone on a huge run. And I want to talk about this one a lot because, whether it's promotion or not, I don't really care. Most OTCs are because there's crappy companies. This one went on a huge multi-day run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days here. And then the 7th day with this huge $1 billion candle, gapped up, had a blow-off day. Dumped, and that's kind of what I'm anticipating for tomorrow, the blow-off day. Same thing, it broke out, really good trend. If we go into the one-day chart, you can see it closed very well right at highs. Not a huge morning spike, but grind up, consolidation all day, and then a pretty clear breakout over 12.5 cents. Closed strong right at highs. My average is like 12.3. I entered right around here, 12.37. Give or take. I have 150,000 shares overnight. Basically, break-even trade for me at this point. I'll cut it at that level if it gets down to it. But I'm anticipating a gap up, and that's because, again, personality of a stock. You can see here it had, on its last run, 6 green days, basically gapped up every single day. We are on the 4th green day, and now you may be like, why are you trading this on the 4th green day? It's not going to gap up. One thing I learned from a guy named Connor, who was also on Twist, is it doesn't matter. Like, a stock's going to do what it's going to do. because they have the similar personalities. Even on this blow-off day last time, it gapped up. So it's got history of gapping up. That's something I'm going to look for. And I'll look to gap it up, and then I'll just be trading off the level 2. If there's bidders in there, I'll let it spike. If we go back to this day, we can pull up oh, shit. Meant to do a 1-month chart. Sorry, guys. 15 minutes here. You can see it had a morning spike before it just got crushed. And another thing to note is when this does panic, I'm going to be very careful if I trade at all because this one did not bounce very well last time. So I'll be looking for it to...
Oh, was this the one that crushed a lot of people?
Yeah, there was just no bounce on it. It was very difficult to trade. So what I'll be doing is clearly it holds the red-green level, and then we got a nice morning spike. That's basically exactly what I'm looking for in the morning. In the event it gaps down, I'm just cutting it. I do have a little cushion, basically a cent a share on my 150,000 shares, and I'll get out there. And yeah, that's my strategy.
I like it.
That's it pretty much for the small cap recap. These are after the fact, obviously, so learn from them, save the charts. Really good to see. Every single day, Bryce and I come out with a watch list for everyone with all the stocks we're watching. Small Cap Rockets gets it, and then we go over our trades in real time as we take them. You know, if you're in the room, you know how Bryce trades. Bryce is pa, 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 just nonstop. You know, he's always got a trade on his radar, and I'm a little, you know, I wait for the bigger picture trades, but I still place probably 2 or 3 trades a day. So it's a really good dynamic. And then we got John Papa in there as well. Can't forget about him. He's just not in our little Small Cap recap, but that's Small Cap Rockets. That's the recap. Anything closing words?
No, guys, if you're not in the room and you're watching these videos, I think that, does the trial end today?
There is a really good trial. That's a good point.
There's a 2-week trial for the 4th of July.
For 4th of July.
I think it ends today or tomorrow?
I think it might end today.
Yeah.
But we'll include a link below, $17.76. You don't only get Small Cap Rockets. If we pull up the screen one more time here, you get all the rooms, the breaking news room. You get breakouts, breakdowns, and Small Cap Rockets, as well as the platform. 14 days to try it out if you're totally new. Great deal.
Yeah, absolutely a great deal. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.